while being under huge pressure in 2018, I will get into a bit more details during this workshop, where my growth basically looked like the chart you see on the left side. My revenues were like a total roller coaster. My profits, pretty similar, because I had a fixed team, 250,000 euro fixed costs. And yeah, when revenues went up and down, my costs, they stayed and they burned all my profits. On the other side, my workload went higher and higher, up to 15 hours a day. Even at the weekend, it was really like, I could literally say in these days, I hated my days. I really hated my days. And I will show you why and how I fixed it, right? And I want to make sure that you get all these details, and you definitely will take away the symptoms that you might see to understand if you are on track or off track. If you build a business that serves you and that grows more and more independently from you, or if you are going to build a business that just sucks your time and your energy, makes you the bottleneck, and yeah, in the end, you will just run in a hamster wheel that turns faster while having the pressure of not getting enough clients, right? Once I install the system that I'm going to show you right now in all details, you see on the right side, my revenues, they really increased like almost like crazy, right? I never imagined that I can like grow a business to that size with this low amount of work and with these stable profits, even in an economy where like I have a very huge network of other agency owners and business owners. And almost every week I hear that another development shop or even marketing agencies, they declare bankruptcy because like they have high client dependencies, and then suddenly a client quits. They don't get new clients, new projects. They don't have leads, just depend on their personal network and on referrals. And yeah, in the end, this can be the end if the markets are volatile as they are right now. So what I'm showing you is how you can get from unpredictable returns to attracting leads and clients consistently using automated sales funnels and digital marketing. So I just want to clarify two things. If you are here with a purpose of getting more predictable leads and clients, fill your pipeline so that you get some leads, some new revenue till the end of 2025, it's not too late. You will be able to accomplish this when you take action and start implementing what you're going to learn here. If you want to prepare yourself and your business for a strong start in 2026, because you know the motivation is typically very high at the end of the year, November, December like, and then January, February, while then everyone is in the rhythm as they are used to. They are busy, and in March, April, then Eastern shows up, and then like the motivation goes down and slows down. So you can get leads and clients in every month, but November, December, January, February for software projects, from my experience, is definitely the best one. So if this is your goal, you're in the right place. I just want to be very upfront and honest with this. Please leave this workshop if you are looking for bullshit like get rich quick formulas. Okay, this is not what you're going to get. What you're going to get is knowledge how to position your business properly. You will see and know how to market your software development services, how to implement this marketing system. I will show you the data-driven processes. Persistent sales closing procedures, I will also show them if we have time, because first you need to get leads, then sales closing typically is not the biggest problem. And how to deliver your services with high quality without you being involved all day and without micromanagement. But again, this is nothing that you switch on tomorrow and you are rich and you don't need to do any work, okay? I just want to say this very clearly. Just if you want to do a background check, because I know there are a lot of parrots and people like promising you the world and like having like watched some YouTube videos. All the knowledge you're getting is from my own business that generated 13.4 million in revenue in the past 4 years, just Right Solutions. Okay, that's the business. If you want to Google this, feel free. You can, all the transformation, everything is documented online. We have a YouTube channel, we have a website, it's all there. And yeah, that's the experience I want to share with you today. But it wasn't always like this, as you can imagine. I just started in 2006 as a freelancer. I studied computer science, right? I'm a software developer. So I had no clue about marketing and building a business. I just thought, okay, I want to do something meaningful. I want to be free. I want to be independent. I want to build a business, right? I did sports my whole life, always on competitions and championships. So I had a lot of energy. I still have, but I needed to do something else. I needed to earn money, right? And I want to be free. So in 2011, I started Bright Solutions GmbH. Still, I literally just knew how to write code. In these days, AI didn't do the job, right? It was me with my hands writing the code. As I said, this was my kind of growth. And then in 2018, challenge number one appeared, which was by far the biggest challenge in business I ever had. I almost crashed my business against the wall because one big project failed. Unfortunately, with one of my biggest clients, that pushed me into 14-hour workdays, endless stress, close to burnout, and nothing in sales and the service fulfillment worked with me. And the paradox was that I always wanted to work less because like 14 hours a day is not sustainable. And on the other side, I wanted more clients. But more clients for my business meant more work and stress for me on the one side. And on the other side, well, I just depended on my network and I had no clue how to get more clients when I really need them. And then it happened in 2019, 60,000 euros per month were gone literally overnight because we had high client dependencies and my two biggest clients quit at the end of 2018. So 2019 was a tough year because, well, like we lost so much revenue, but I still had my team. I had to fire almost 30 people in 1 year. I wish you guys to never be in that situation, so desperate that like there's just no other option. But if you just depend on referrals and not enough potential clients know you, and if they know you, they don't even understand the value of your business, like how can anyone expect to get more leads and clients? It's just not possible. So I had a lot of sleepless nights. And what I did is I tried a lot. I literally tried, I couldn't say I tried everything under the sun to get my business up and running again. I went on networking events, right? Exhibitions, meetups, sent emails, did posts on LinkedIn day and night, did cold calls, which I absolutely hate, and nothing got me consistent leads. So from all these things, I won one client. I have to say it was a rather big project, 200,000 in revenue from an exhibition, but I joined like 15 exhibitions and only got one client. And from email marketing and from cold calling, I never ever got a single client. I'm talking to, I would say 30 to 50 software development business owners every single month. And I only met 2 so far who ever got a client from email marketing. If you got clients from email marketing, I would appreciate if you want to write this in the chat. It will just expand my worldview because currently I believe, well, email marketing doesn't really work for software development, but maybe you guys know how to make it work. Then I would appreciate if you want to write this in the chat. It will help me eventually change my false belief, but right now I have no evidence. So then in 2019, the next challenge came because my son was born and he was born with a genetic defect. So he is disabled. He cannot talk, he cannot speak, he cannot walk, he cannot understand me, but he is a very happy guy. And that gave me a lot of pleasure on the one side, but a lot of stress on the other side because he was just a lot of times screaming and crying. So I was really pushed and forced to automate and delegate work in my business to get more free time for this small little guy. So what I tried next is I tried to delegate sales. I hired a sales rep. So here's how it went. It cost me around 100K in salaries, in exhibition tickets, in rent for cars, in whatnot. What he did was going to exhibitions and collecting business cards, sending like messages by email and inviting random people on LinkedIn. In the end, yes, he closed the deal and he was very proud of it. It was a deal that brought us 8,000 in revenue. And we made a loss of 2,000 because he gave too high of a discount. So the ROI of that is very red. It can't be more negative, I think. Then I hired marketing agencies. Didn't work. They didn't understand my industry, my services. They didn't understand the needs of my clients. Then I thought I need to build an in-house marketing team, right? And that was just the same problem. I just had people that were on my payroll, but they also had no clue about my industry. And yeah, that was the summary. I burned 190,000 euros in 1.5 years, I would say. My lessons learned is they don't know how to sell software development services, and they don't know what my clients need. So the only thing remaining was that I stop blaming these attempts and other people and just take ownership for me and understand that I have to learn and understand marketing before I can delegate anything. I took a 400,000 bank credit, 400,000 euro bank credit in 2019. That was not easy because in 2018, my business made a loss of 289,000 euros in a single year. Well, because of my two biggest clients quit and I couldn't like reduce my costs fast enough. So I had to learn, or I think I should say, I wanted to learn marketing from the world's best marketing and sales coaches to automate lead generation. So what I did next is I took this 400,000 euro bank credit and invested over 240,000 to join almost every single course, mastermind, and coaching program from gurus in the US and in Europe, right? If you know some of these gurus, you name it, like Russell Brunson, Jeff Walker, Mint, Ben Heath, etc. I've been in these groups. So I really learned marketing at an expert level. But I found that, first of all, I get a lot of fragmented knowledge, and I want you to leave this workshop today and understand a consistent system that respects all parts, not just like copywriting or marketing psychology or positioning and marketing strategy or media buying or how meta ads and the algorithms work, right? These are all things that you can learn as a fragmented course, but it's hard to like compose it into a working marketing and sales system. And then these systems are not made for software development. So I adapted it as a software developer to work for my industry. And I can tell you it cost me a lot of like time, money, and obviously my hair. Don't laugh, okay? That's the wrong timing to laugh right now. But it was the most valuable investment I ever made as a business owner. So my sales pipeline looked like this in 2018. That's actually a screenshot from referrals. And here, this is the sales pipeline that we've built over the years, 2020, 2021, 2022. So we can literally, I mean, Flo works in sales. He's from my team also. He has a fully booked calendar, right? But he's still smiling. He's a good guy. All right, and that brought me up to this volume of revenue that we made in the last 4 years. So this was one of my first clients, right? And I want to show you this so that you like eventually drop your false belief that marketing doesn't work to attract software development projects just because nobody else knows how to do it. It's a rare skill that you are a software developer, and the marketing, only pressure, high pressure and desperation can create this combination, I would say. So this was another client in 2019, actually, as you see. They made 500,000 in revenue per year and made a loss of 41,000. Same story, had high client dependencies, didn't know how to get leads, big client quit, bam. Okay, so I worked with them over a 2-year period, installed the system, and in 2021, they achieved record revenues of 1.6 million and profits of 457,000 euros. While this business owner was able to step back and just have a 4-day work week. I mean, he was 53 or so that was a good choice for him. Here's another one. You can also watch this video on flashhub.io/case studies. This is another software development business owner. I have the agreement with him that I can publish his case study and not work with like similar businesses. They are doing some special or serving some special industries, don't work with his direct competitors, but he's generating 3 to 4 sales calls per week, every week. And he's only spending 1,500 euros per month. And he did not believe that anything like this works because he had the same journey like I had. Hired marketing agencies, hired salespeople, built in-house marketing teams, fired them all, and like tried the next thing. All right, so this is just the agenda, and then we go into the details, what you're going to learn. First of all, psychology in marketing. That's a like 3-minute fastest sales training ever, but it's the psychology that's the foundation for everything else you will learn. You will see how to systematically sell your software services either to startups, funded startups, of course. We don't want to make business with like freebie seekers, tire kickers, and pro people. Or with established businesses, I'm talking about CTOs, CIOs, digital leaders, CEOs, if they are involved in the process. It depends on the size of the business. And then like what you should offer so that these like high-level people are interested in your services. Because in the end, it's like this. If you communicate what everyone communicates, like who you are, what you do, how long you exist, which services you provide, how many team members you have, I can tell you clients couldn't care less. First, they care about what they get. So they need to understand the value of your services first, and then, and only then, they care about who you are, what you do, etc. But if you just communicate the second part, clients won't listen and they won't buy. I will show you how they listen and how to make them buy from you instead of from your competitors. Now, the fourth point will be a lot of details. I will show you the exact structure of such a sales funnel and how this feeds your sales process and how this like integrates with your fulfillment process, because to build a business that operates like a well-oiled machine, like those machines that German engineers built, I think 10 years ago. Right now, it's not the best time for us to claim that we are really good in engineering, but yeah, I digress. So it's important that, yeah, you understand the components and how they like work together. And then how to build this with data-driven methods. I couldn't stand it anymore that we always just got experience with marketing that felt like spray and pray or hope-based tactics, right? Yeah, we do just some random stuff and this and this and that. And in the end, like nothing worked and nobody ever could tell me why it doesn't work, right? I always wanted to know, okay, why does it not work? What should we do? And then the answer was, yeah, we don't know, but we will try something else. We just need more budget. And like, that was always the answer I got. Frustrated me. And if we have some time left, and if this is a priority, please let me know in the chat if you also want to see how you should structure your team so that it can work independently from you, to pull you out from the operations, delegate service fulfillment to your team, manage your team with 1 hour per day, and then have a business that works independently from you. The highest priority, of course, is sales, because you can have the best team. If they don't have work, you don't have revenue, your team will be gone 2 months later. So this is the sales psychology training, okay? Take good care and attention. There is only one reason why clients listen, pay attention, click an ad, respond to a message, book a call, and ultimately buy from you. And this number one reason is because they have a problem. Sounds really simple, but look at your website, how often you talk about which problems you can solve. If you would do this, your marketing would be instantly more successful, at least from the attention you get. Why? Well, look where the attention of people is. Is everyone talking to you about solutions? Would be nice. Reality shows most people have a problem awareness. They know their problems and they think about their problems all the time. And some of them want to solve the problem, but most have an attention to this. So let's look at the architecture of a problem. There is typically one big problem. In your case, your biggest problem is that you don't get enough qualified leads to grow your business to the next level. And all these sub-problems, they all contribute to this. So sub-problems in your scenario are, you don't know how marketing and sales works, you don't have a high-value offer that attracts the right clients, you don't know how to write marketing copy, you don't know how, etc., right? So all these things, they contribute to this problem. In software development, it depends a bit on which services you sell and to whom you sell it. Because like a business owner or CEO, they have different problems than an employee. And their problems are more significant than the problems of an employee. Because it's not a business of the employee, they are just doing their job. They work for being appreciated and recognized in the organization, right? They eventually want to advance their career, while the business owner has other problems that are more related to business growth, revenue growth, maybe selling the business. So what do they want? They want a solution. Pretty simple. It's the same psychology. They want to turn the problem into the solution. In your case, you want to get an automated lead generation system. Maybe you don't even want this, but what you want is a consistent stream of qualified leads that turn into paying clients. That's what you want. So what you need is better offers, marketing system that generates leads, knowing how marketing works, a better website that converts more traffic and visitors into leads, etc. So now you see what happens here. There is a gap, a black hole. And your clients are standing on the problem side, looking at the other side to what they really want, but they have no idea how to get there. Even worse, they have fear. They fear that when they make a first step or they build a bridge themselves, that they just fall down and it's over. Might not be realistic, but that's their fear. That's what prevents them from moving forward themselves. They don't have the knowledge, they don't have the experience, they don't have the resources. So it's almost self-explaining what your business needs to do. And so what your marketing needs to do, and what your sales needs to do, and your service fulfillment needs to do. So simple. It needs to build this bridge and create the solution. For example, if you are, let's say, selling AI agents, like people don't want the AI agent. What they want is get the problem solved. What's the problem? The problem is that they are just doing everything manually. They cannot grow without hiring more people. Their business is not sustainable. Their team is stressed. People quit, high turnover, profits are low because of high costs and all that stuff. So your job, if you, for example, sell AI agents or automation software, right, is to solve these problems. And the faster you can solve these problems and the bigger the problem you solve, the more money you can make and the easier it will be for you to attract new potential clients. Because look at it like this, when you have such a strong headache, or let me use another example, when you are hungry, you're about to starve, you would pay for a burger $15 easily. Maybe that's the price in the US, I don't know. Let's say $50. No problem. If you're about to starve because the pain is so hard and you fear that you die, you will buy it. Okay, so focus on a big problem you can solve. Don't focus on the technology in your marketing. In the fulfillment, sure, but not in the marketing. We'll get to how to structure your service fulfillment later. So now let's look at, if you understood this, let's look at how you should structure your offers, because this journey is not a one step for your client. It's not that they see this and they make one step and they are instantly at the solution. That's not how it works. Because first of all, they need to understand that they have a problem. Some people are even unaware of the problem. Then they need to understand that you exist and you understand their problem better than they do. And then you need to make them believe that your bridge is stable and fast and secure and gets them on the other side. So that's why we structure this bridge in 3 steps. Step number 1 is attract leads. Okay, you cannot get a client if you don't have leads. You cannot get leads if you don't have traffic. You cannot get traffic if you don't have an attractive offer. I mean, you can get traffic, you can get clicks from tire kickers, freebie seekers, and broke people, but they will never buy from you. So you need to attract relevant traffic. And to ensure that you attract relevant traffic of people who could buy from you, you need a high value offer. That's typically called a lead magnet. And with a lead magnet, you solve one specific problem. And in software projects, there are typically the following phases. You have the ideation phase, then you have the planning phase, you have the conception phase, then you have typically an RFP phase, or where they select the provider, then you have the development. And then you have the phase when the project burns and is about to crash against the wall because they've chosen the wrong provider. Now you can jump in and fix it. In every stage of such a project, right, that's the life cycle of a software project basically, you can help your clients for free. And the closer you are helping them for free towards the software development phase, the faster they will become your clients. If you help them with the ideation phase, or for example, you help them evaluate, does it make sense to introduce AI in the business? Well, they might not even invest because like they have an idea and tomorrow the idea could be gone. Okay, so with this offer, it can also be, by the way, prototype development. It doesn't have to be a free offer. It can also be a paid offer. Okay, if you, for example, know how to develop fast prototypes with Lovable, I know you guys don't like Lovable because you are real coders, but with Lovable, you can create a real prototype pretty fast, show your clients a UI, get them results fast, get their trust, and then build a backlog of requirements to upsell them to the full project. Okay, that's how you build a buyer's journey that makes it easy for your clients to say yes and start working with you. Like if you always try to sell and pitch body leasing, augmented teams, and the big projects, which we all want, of course, but we need to start smaller. We cannot go with the big project straight. It might happen, but not systematically, not consistently, not at scale. Okay, try to get clients in and then make the client bigger in terms of revenue and lifetime value. So that's the next thing, maximize the value. I mean, maximize the value for your client and for your business. Because based on this graphic you see with the two pyramids, it's all about value. Remember, I told you the more or the bigger the problem is you solve, the more money you will make. So now, as you got them in, you deliver the first result, either paid or for free, you can expand the client relationship and build the full project. And then you enroll them in a retainer that can be to support, maintain, or optimize the solution you've built. And that's how you keep your client for a long time, maximize value again. And this is important because the more money you make with a client, the more money you can spend on ads. And the more money you can spend on ads, the faster you can grow. The goal is to provide such a good service that you make like 50 to 250,000 in revenue per client, let's say at a 50% profit margin, which is still 25 to 175,000, no, not to 112,000, right, in revenue, profit, revenue minus fulfillment costs. And this is more than enough profit to invest more and more in paid ads and grow faster and faster and never ever have to rely on referrals. But you have to understand the unit economics, okay? So like the KPIs that make such a marketing system profitable. Good. Now, solutions clients always buy, no matter in which economy we are living, no matter which market situation we have, okay? No matter what's the next hype, what clients always buy is solutions that contribute to cost reduction. That's what everyone is looking to do with AI these days, or revenue increase. That's what you help with when you launch digital products for your clients. Now, as AI is dominating the market, speed is a must-have, at least for the first offer out of these three. Okay, solve one problem, deliver a fast solution, and then upsell. And always relate your first offer to either cost reduction or revenue increase. Yeah, that's a good example. You will find this also on the website. This guy is a web development agency owner. His name is Alfred. And his business crashed against the wall. He declared bankruptcy. That was 3.5 years ago, if I remember correctly. Then he started working with me because he found that he was just selling his time for money. He had high dependencies, charged very low prices, and had no way to get leads. He just changed the offer. He didn't even build the sales funnel that I am going to show you. He just changed his offer, related it to this cost reduction, in his case, mostly revenue increase, because that's what he does when he builds new websites. And he just sent one email to his old clients or leads, right? And he closed instantly a 40,000 euro deal. Plus he got 2 additional clients and he increased his prices, attention, 10 times. Yes, he made 10 times more money with the same services. That means he earns 10 times more money without working more hours or spending more money on the service fulfillment. Okay, that's how you build like a business that makes you a lot of money and doesn't require you to work in it all day, because your offer is the asset and not just you. So let's be specific. What are specific solutions you can sell that contribute to cost reduction or revenue increase and that work today? Of course, AI agents. Big time for cost reduction. Process automation, pretty much the same, just another name. You automate processes. Offshore development works awesome, especially if you combine it with using AI for software development, because now you contribute also to cost reduction in the software development process. I have actually 3 clients. They have an offshore or nearshore team, and they use Cursor to develop software. So they attack in their marketing software development projects that are still just working with like manual coding. And that's why they have a lot of failures, time delays all the time, and high costs. And they promise that they reduce the cost of software development by 30 to 50%. And they do. And they deliver results for fixed price sometimes, right? And like they get leads and clients like clockwork. Why? Well, because they're doing this. They contribute to cost reduction. Software development using AI, as I said, works well. Now, if you want to contribute to revenue increase, you typically develop MVPs or prototypes for digital products, sell it to startups or established businesses who want to digitize their services. Legacy software modernization is also a huge thing, works very well, right? If you know how to like turn legacy software that's old, outdated, not compatible with AI into modern cloud architecture, modern scalable infrastructure and code, and modernize it with AI features. Another thing where a client recently launched the project, which works also very well, is fixing struggling projects, like projects that have an existing like outsourcing partner and they fail because they always deliver late, they deliver too many bugs, they don't use AI, etc. They have unreliable cost estimations, right? Positioning your business against this to fix these projects, if you like this, works very well. And if you develop websites, then I would highly recommend to add one traffic channel to your service portfolio. Because if you only develop websites, you compete with all these tools and with so many cheap agencies that sell websites for 3,000 euro. By the way, we also sell websites, but we start from 15,000 WordPress websites, right? So that's more than most other WordPress agencies ever like make revenue with a project. But we combine it with paid ads because now we build a website that generates leads, which contributes to revenue increase. You see how it goes. So keep this always in mind, okay? That's the essence of everything. And now we are looking at a messaging framework so that clients really, truly understand the value of your services. Because you can have the best services. You can make sure that your services contribute to cost reduction or revenue increase. You can be well positioned providing modern solutions, but either if your clients don't understand the value or simply if they don't know you, you will just love your product and nobody else ever knows it, so you won't get new clients. So let's build a framework showing you how to structure your messaging, no matter which channel you use. If it's paid ads, if it's LinkedIn, organic, cold outreach, phone calls, if you like, networking. You structure your message and the flow of a conversation, might it be automatically with paid ads or manually with like manual conversations, always like this. You always start with a problem. Well, it makes sense, right? Because that's the starting point of your clients. They have a problem. So you need to start with a problem, showing them that you understand the problem better than they do. Then you expand the problem. You tell them, hey, what happens if you don't fix it? Like you guys know what happens if you don't fix the lead generation problem. You will like 99% experience the same headaches and existential crisis that I experienced, that a lot of my clients experience, just because like you know what you need to do, but you don't do it. Okay, that's very often the case. It's just plain procrastination. So then you give them an outlook to the solution so they know what's possible. Then you provide proof, case studies, and you give them a next step offer, the first step on the bridge. Okay, don't pitch them like, hey, you have to buy, you have to jump on a call. People don't want to go on a call if they don't trust you yet. So you give them a shorter, smaller step. That's what is called a lead magnet. I also have one warning related to lead magnets. We will get to this point in, I think, 5 minutes, because you can use a lead magnet to totally ruin your marketing. That's not what you should do, okay? I will tell you and show you how to use it the right way. So now you have a lead magnet, which is the first step on the bridge. And then you have 3 calls typically. You have a Goodwill call, just calling people asking if they got this lead magnet and if they have any questions, okay? Next thing is a discovery call to see if the main solution you want to sell works for your client. And then you have a strategy call to create requirements lists, to see how they implement it, create a project plan eventually, and then they start working with you. It's like dating, right? I think none of you guys, okay, maybe some of you, I don't know, would ever go meet a woman and just ask her if she wants to marry today. But in marketing and sales, so many business owners behave differently. They want to go straight for a kill, but that's not how it works, because there is no trust if two strangers meet. When you saw my ads, you didn't trust me, I guess. You were just wondering, okay, what is this guy without hair? What is he telling me? Maybe you found it interesting, but maybe you didn't trust me. I'm sure you didn't trust me. But the more you spend time with me and you see that I'm a guy like you and I know what I'm talking about because I went through everything you don't have to go through, and I think I achieved what a lot of you guys want to achieve, then you start building trust. Trust is built based on time and information. So it's a function of time and information. Okay, and that's why the customer journey is typically like 2 to 6 months, sometimes 12 months if you are dealing with enterprise organizations. And that's why you should have 3 calls to build trust over time. And then the last part is really simple. To get them to the solution, like they sign a contract, you provide awesome service in the service fulfillment, you offer them a retainer so they stay with you for a long time, and then you create a case study, because the case study feeds your marketing. And guess what happens? People trust you faster. Because if they see that others achieved what they want to achieve, they trust you. That's why the referral process works so well. What do you think why you close so many clients from referrals? Because they instantly trust you. They come from a source that trusts you, and this trust is inherited. And we want to replicate this trust inheriting process, but automate it so it doesn't depend on you. That's what you do with marketing and sales funnels. And I will show you that you need 2 campaign structures so that people know you and start to like you and start to trust you, so that you get on sales calls with them and become or get new clients. Good. This, what I'm going to show you right now, is not invented by me, but I adapted it to software development. You might know this from Sir Alex Hormozy, very smart guy. If you can ever, like you can, but if you want, I don't know, buy his books, $100 million offers, $100 million leads, and money models, you will get a lot of knowledge. Of course, it doesn't work one-to-one like it works for software development, but this formula is exactly what I showed you, this pyramid. Look, the value people see needs to be higher than the price they pay. This is the same for your paid offer. Like, what do you think? Why clients give you money? Not because they have too much, but because they expect an ROI from the software you build, from the website you build, from the app you build. They might not even tell you, but they expect it. When you would give me money to implement your sales funnel, you want revenue. You want an ROI. Okay, you just don't want a sales funnel. You don't just want leads. You want clients that pay you money so that you get your money back as fast as possible. So this value exchange also applies for lead magnet, by the way. If you offer, hey, let's jump on a call, like the barrier is very high, because when people jump on a call, they are afraid that they get pitched. They hate it. They spend like 30 to 60 minutes of their time just to be pitched and get no value at all. So the investment, the time investment, and the fear they have to jump on a call is very high. So that's why the value and cost or risk relationship is very bad. If you tell people to jump on a call without providing value and proving that you are worth jumping on a call. Okay, remember this buyer's journey. So what this formula says is the value is calculated by having a dream outcome. And look, if you build software, dream outcome is very low, because if you build software, it doesn't communicate anything what clients get. But if you, for example, say you launch digital products, well, that has a higher value, because I can see, okay, they launched my product. They are not just doing software development. Of course, you have to do it, but the result, what clients want, is the product. So even better, if you build a digital product your clients love, so that you make more revenue. Oh, cool, that's what I really want. Okay. Or in like my case, if I would just tell you, hey, I do digital marketing for you, you would say, okay, everyone does this. But if I tell you, hey, I built you a sales funnel and I guarantee to work with you as long as required to ensure you get a 2x ROI from your investment, so you make money, right? Or I have to work with you forever for free, which I don't want, okay? I like you guys, I appreciate you, but I don't want to work with you forever without being paid extra. So the dream outcome is what clients want to achieve, right? This is the right side of the pyramid I showed you. The perceived likelihood of achievement is how much they like believe that they really get this. I mean, you all know this in digital marketing, like everyone has been scammed, and like there are so many people who have no idea what they are doing, but promising you the world. Okay, as soon as you realize that there is some fake, some scam, your perceived likelihood of achievement goes to -20. How do you get it up? Well, by showing case studies, for example, because they inherit trust. Or by providing a strong guarantee, but don't just make up a guarantee that you cannot fulfill, then this is scam. So promise a result. For example, we launch here, that's what some of my clients do. They launch a prototype in 14 days, 30 days to prove the impact, business value, and ROI of their idea, so that they can convince investors or internal stakeholders, shareholders, etc. Okay, that would be a strong offer because it clearly communicates what it is. And if you can prove it that others achieve this, you increase the likelihood of achievement. So this increases the value. Now let's look at what decreases the value. Time delay. If it takes you 12 months to develop a prototype, well, this is way too long. People expect it much faster. People are not patient. They want it fast because AI showed them that they can get faster results. Effort and sacrifice. If you tell them, hey, we develop your software, but I need you 2 times per week for 5 hours to test everything we did, well, they don't like it because they have so much effort for testing what you did. That's not attractive. So it decreases the value. Okay, so whenever you consider, you look at your services, have this formula in mind, have the 2 pyramids in mind, and ask yourself, how can I deliver a high value contributing to revenue increase or reduction of costs? How can I speed up the result? How can I prove that I can deliver or reduce the risk for my clients by providing a guarantee? Right? You don't need to provide a guarantee that promises like, I will make you a millionaire in 7 days. That's bullshit. But you can guarantee that, for example, you develop the software for a fixed price and guarantee that you match 100% of signed off requirements, which is, by the way, what you do in most cases anyway. You just don't communicate it, so clients don't understand it. But it reduces risk significantly. Okay, so that's the formula on how to create high value. Now let's have a look at the phases of software development projects, because I talked about this 10 minutes ago already. This is how you catch the right people in the right timing so that you can develop the relationship with something you can do for free, your lead magnet, or a small paid offer like a prototype, so that when they enter the next phase, they become your client and they keep you top of their mind because they experienced that you are a helpful solution provider by helping them solve problems before they need what you provide in the core offer. So your core offer is typically the development phase. The phases before that make sense to target are planning and conception phase, or when they find a partner or try to find a partner. Now, in each phase, the same logic applies. They always have a problem in this specific phase that they want to solve, and when the problem is solved, the next problem appears. For example, okay, you have an idea. Your problem is, will this work? Does it make sense? Will I get an ROI? So now you could solve this with, for example, a lead magnet. You could develop a custom AI agent or a custom GPT to walk them through this and help them understand if it makes sense or not. You could give them an ROI calculator to show them how they can evaluate the ROI of their idea. Okay, now let's say they are convinced they can get an ROI. Problem solved. But the next problem is instantly there. Which requirements do I need to provide? How do I create the concept? Which user experience do I need to provide? Which technology stack should I use? Now, you could solve this problem by providing a guide, comparison checklists, agents, whatever. Now, they understand now. Maybe you create a prototype for them, or just a visual design prototypes. Solved. Okay, cool. Now, next step. Okay, we know what we want. We know how it should look like, but we have no idea how to code it. Next problem, what's the right partner? How do we find the right partner? Which requirements do we need to hand over? How do we make sure that we stay in budget and in the timeline we want? Right? You see how it goes. It's a problem solution path. And you can and should solve a problem earlier so that when they enter the phase where you can help the most with your second offer, they work with you because you have a relationship and they trust you. Okay, that's why you can catch a lead in each phases. The earlier you catch the lead, the stronger your relationship will be at the time when they need your paid core offer, but the longer it takes, because they need to go through all these phases. Nobody jumps from an idea straight to development if they don't have a concept, if they didn't evaluate it. So this is how you position either your no-brainer offer, which can be a paid offer, or a very specific lead magnet that answers one or many of these questions that bother them most in the specific phase. So when you do this and you promote this mainly with paid ads, because I want to protect my time more than anything else, right? I want to make sure that I get leads and clients without spending my time. But if you, of course, have less than, I would say, 20,000 in revenue per month, you should first protect your budget and invest your time. Because when you do manual marketing with a high value offer, you get leads and clients, you make a profit. Now you can reinvest it in ads into automating what already works organically. That's much smarter than having 20K revenue a month and you spend, I don't know, 3K a month on ads, maybe just 2K a month on ads, but you have sleepless nights because you are so afraid of losing this money and what happens and so on, okay? That's not good. This is what you can expect with paid ads. I ran so many ads for software development businesses, including my own. The average cost per qualified lead, okay? I'm talking about qualified leads. I'm not talking about tire kicker leads or leads that are I don't know, just people who will never, ever pay for anything. Like if you have ever been to exhibitions where people collect the free gifts and pencils, they will never buy from you. They just want free stuff. Okay, that's not the lead type of lead I'm talking about. I'm talking about a lead. I will show you what exactly means a qualified lead. I'm talking about qualified leads, and I want to make sure that you see the cost. So the cost ranges typically from 50 to 300 euros or US dollars per qualified lead. Now you might think, oh, that's expensive. I saw others who generate leads for 10 euros. Yes, but they never convert into a software project at the size of 15 to 250K. So now if you ask yourself if this is profitable, make the calculation like this. Take the average revenue you make with a client, let's say 50K to make it easy. 50% fulfillment cost, right? If you have a team, that results in 25,000 gross profit, right? The profit is revenue minus fulfillment cost, 25K. So if you want to keep, just let's plan very pessimistically, keep only 10,000 as profit on your bank account and the remaining 15K go to marketing, you could acquire a client and spend 15,000 for acquiring a client and still make a 10K profit. Now, if you have an automated system that gets you these types of clients, how often would you do this? I would just continue doing that all day long. I would not care if I spent 15K for a client. Now, as I said, this is very pessimistic. The average cost to acquire a client at the size of 15 to 250K project size is somewhere from 2,000 to 6,000 euros or dollars. So if it is profitable to acquire a client for 15,000, it is highly profitable to acquire a client for 3 to 8 to maybe 10K. You need to understand the math. You cannot just judge a lead based on cost. You need to judge a lead based on quality, and relate it to the profit you will make if you turn a lead into a paying client. That is very crucial, because otherwise you will never ever make it work, as you will look at your marketing and think, oh my God, I spent 3,000 and didn't close a client. Well, no problem with that. You will close a client. I will show you why it's almost guaranteed that you will close a client if you do it right. But the number one reason why people fail with this is, of course, because they have a shitty offer. They don't know where their client is. They have no idea how to run campaigns and build funnels, and they quit way too early. And then you will end up having nothing. But that's the same with everything in life and business. If you send like 1,000 emails and don't get a client and you quit, well, like, what do you expect? If you go to one networking event and talk to 20 people, don't get a client, well, it's just 20 people. Your ads are shown per day to thousands of people. But of course, you need to spend money. So that's the difference. You need to decide if you have more money than time to get new clients, or if you have more time than money to get more clients. Fact is, you need to invest time or money into getting clients. It's the hardest part to crack in business, and it's the most rewarding part to crack in business when you finally get consistent leads and clients. So one or the other. Now, if you are in the situation, let's say you have 10 to 20K revenue, or maybe more, but you don't have money and you don't have time, you are doing something fundamentally wrong. And what you're doing wrong typically is you are charging way too low prices. You are way too often distracted instead of focusing on what really generates revenue. You are overpaying your suppliers, or you are delivering very low quality so that clients want you to fix it for free. And all these things burn your money and suck your time and your energy. You cannot grow consistently like this. Fix this first before you make it bigger, because if you make it bigger, you will end up looking like I do without hair, because this will kill your life and your business. Okay. So I promised you to show you what a qualified lead looks like. These are screenshots from campaigns of my clients. So a qualified lead is a decision maker. Okay, let's go with the first on the left side, step by step. We ask for the role when we qualify them in a form. What's their role? It must be a CEO, it must be an owner, or it must be a CTO, CIO, or it must be any digital leader. Then we ask them for the company size. Some say they have no employees yet. They are just starting. Cool, but only if they have the money to pay us. So we ask them for the budget, and they say, here, our planned budget is 5K or more per month for fast results. Cool. So eventually they have investors, or they had a high-paid management job. Now they started their own business and they have the money. They have a verified phone number, which is verified with SMS verification. And they gave me the first name, last name, and their work business address. Like, this is how all these leads are generated. And these are the criteria to turn a lead into a qualified lead. And that's what you should optimize for. So here's one important note. I told you that a lead magnet can either make or break your business. You should never, ever advertise a lead magnet without proper positioning and without qualifying a lead through your message. Remember the messaging framework I showed you. Start with whom you want to talk to, which problem they should have so that you can solve it. Give them an outlook to the goal they can achieve, or the value or results they can achieve when working with you. Provide proof. And then give them the lead magnet as a next step offer. But never ever start with your lead magnet, because the algorithms of these advertising platforms, they target people based on AI. That means they show the ad to people who are most likely to convert. Now, who is most likely to convert on a free thing? Tire kickers, freebie seekers, not serious business owners, managers, CEOs. So you need to develop them through the message and filter them through the message, because pro people who have an attention span of 2 seconds, they will never ever be able to watch an ad for 30 seconds to a minute to get to the point where they see the lead magnet. That's why it's a filter. It's friction, and it's good friction, because it protects you from people who will never ever buy from you, and it protects you from the algorithm to optimize to get you more of these people. It's like a system, shit in, shit out. If you condition the algorithm with the wrong conversions, with the wrong message, then the algorithm says, okay, hey, these are your people. I get you more. And then you get leads for $10, $20, $30. You're happy until you realize they will never buy. I had such a client. He's working with me because he worked with a general marketing agency and they told him, okay, spend $2,000 a month. We get you leads for $25 roundabout. And he got these leads. And he spent a lot of time on messages with them. And after he got over 400 leads, he didn't make a single dollar back. And I told him from the beginning, but he ignored it. So he wasted a lot of money, got a lot of people that all wanted his free stuff, but well, they never bought. And they never bought because they have been generated and attracted the wrong way. So the point I want to make is your message is the number one lever to attract the right people. Now let me show you 3 phases to get more leads, sales calls, and clients, okay? Again, as I said in the very beginning, it was my 3rd slide. This is not a get rich quick thing. This is a marketing system for serious business owners. So it goes through the following phases. Let's look at fact number 1, why you are not getting more leads and clients. And there is one main reason that has the biggest leverage that if you fix it, you get more leads and clients. This is that not enough of the right people know you. And this sentence is important with every word. Not enough of the right people. You might get reach. You can post like on Instagram or TikTok, go viral, cool, and never get a single client, not even get a single lead, because it matters who watches your ad. If your ad goes viral, it means you communicate something everyone wants to see. But you don't want to work with everyone. You need the right people. So you need to architect your message so that it attracts the right people. And more important, they should not just know you, they should know you for the problem you solve and the solution you provide. In other words, your offer. Remember this pyramid, okay? This one. So people should know you for this transformation they can get when they engage with you. And your potential clients need to understand this solution. Now let's look at the 3 phases. So the first phase is positioning. This is key. Like no matter where you are, if you are below 20K or if you are doing 100K and you are not yet getting leads and clients from digital marketing, you need to do this homework. Positioning is everything. If your positioning is wrong and you go through the other phases, you build up everything on such a weak foundation, it will just like fall down like a cart house. Positioning means know all your target clients. Don't worry, you don't need to niche down to just one ideal client persona, ICP. You can have multiple target clients. For example, we target product owners, marketing managers, and business owners. And each ICP has problems specifically related to this identity. As I said, an employed marketing manager or an employed product owner has totally different problems and also different personal desires than a business owner or a CEO. So next you write down their desired solutions, what they want to achieve in the short term related to your services and in the long term related to business growth or to their career. And then you define your offer, remember this, as the bridge, okay, that turns their problem into the solution, help them achieve the desired situation. Next phase is messaging, because remember I told you your clients need to know you and they need to understand your message. So you start with a hook, because there is so much noise on social media. If your hook is not catchy, if it doesn't catch the attention of the right people, the rest of your messaging, of your journey, of your landing page, of your sales call, of your services doesn't matter at all, because nobody consumes it. So you need to master catching attention with good hooks, with good relevant hooks. Like a good, very easy hook for you guys to get you here is, hey, you tried LinkedIn and email marketing, got no results, and now you're wondering where your next client should come from, right? Is a good hook, speaks exactly to whom I want to talk to and exactly to the problem you have that I can solve. So next thing is talk to the person about the problem. And then show the solution they can get, present your offer, show case studies so they can build trust. And then you launch the marketing system, and that typically goes in 3 phases. And we will go through that in this diagram. So instead of expecting that you switch on your marketing system and tomorrow you get your next client, sorry, if this is your expectation, better don't do it. That's not how it works. But how it works and how it's almost guaranteed, I think it is guaranteed that you will get a client. The question is just when, and that depends on how attractive your offer is and how hungry your market is. And of course, how well you do a good job in like writing a message that makes your clients understand the value of your services and motivates them to listen to you, book a call, and buy from you. So the first phase is typically 30 days, sometimes 40, sometimes 60. It depends on the factors I just talked about. In this phase, you build an audience. That means you collect the attention of the right people that start to know your business for your solution, okay, for the problems you can solve. And you build this audience by having a video, and people watch this video, and then they click the ad or the learn more button, and they land on your landing page. Now, the pixel of, doesn't matter if you use LinkedIn, Meta, or Google, you can retarget people who watch your video 25, 50%, 75%, or 100%. The longer they watch the video, the more they show you that they are interested in what you're talking about. So it makes sense to invest a bit more money, and retargeting is very cheap, by the way, to ensure that more of the right people who are interested in your solutions and not just want free stuff trust you, because trust is the #1 currency in marketing. If people don't trust you, they will never buy. And then when it is the right time, because when you try to get clients for projects, you always have to respect timing. They might have an idea. Remember these phases, the journey of a project, the life cycle of a project. They might have an idea. Now they are not ready to pay you for the implementation. They need to go through the conception, etc. So it's a timing issue. But when nobody knows you, when nobody understands the value, when nobody trusts you, even if people are at the right time, they won't become your clients, well, because they don't know you, they don't like you, and they don't trust you. So that's why it's guaranteed that if you have a strong message, a correctly architected message, and more people know you, at a certain time, it will like collapse and you get more and more clients, because you build this audience and you build the trust, and you have more and more people who know you, like you, trust you, and understand the value of working with you. While if you don't do it, you just like end up hoping and praying, which doesn't impact people as much as what I showed you here. Okay, now you saw how you turn your sales pipeline from being empty into a full pipeline with predictable leads. So if you don't want to invest in paid ads, which is fine if you are afraid of investing money or you don't have the money, you can and you have to do the other steps, no matter if you use paid channels or organic channels. You need to go through the positioning phase. You need to know who your ICPs, your ideal client profile. You need to know the problems they have, the desires they have, and like the pain points they want to get rid of. Then you build an offer, and now you can send your offer on any organic channel. You can use email, fine, if you send enough email, because volume matters. Remember, enough of the right people need to know you. And of course, it needs to be an email list of relevant people. You cannot just like go to Apollo and like spam the masses. You can also ongoingly post on social media, like go to LinkedIn, expand your networks and connection requests, no pitch, just hey, I'm in the same industry, would love to connect, cheers. Or maybe you saw that they, I don't know, achieved something or saw them in a press release and you relate to this. Just make the connection and then post content on social media so that they see you. Post content about problems you can solve, solutions you can provide, bad alternatives to solve the problem, how people fail, problems to avoid, etc. Case studies, proof, so that they see you again and again in their timeline. You need to invest your time, of course, with that, or you let the money work for you if you run paid ads. By the way, this also helps if you engage with people on a networking event. Start a conversation, not with what you do and who you are. Start a conversation about them. Hey, who are you? Business owner. Yeah, cool. Okay, so what's your business? Okay, and what do you want to achieve? This, and okay, what's currently a problem preventing you from achieving this? And now you're talking about problems. Always listen more than you talk, okay? That's why you have 2 ears and just one mouth. You need to make sure that they feel understood and that you understand what they want to achieve and their problem. So you cannot help everyone, but if it's a good fit, then this is where you should invest your time. That's the same with organic methods and paid ads. Okay. Deep breathe deep. We go into the blueprint of how the system looks like and is structured. We start easy. So 3 main components need to be installed in your business to make it work like a well-oiled machine. You need a marketing process with a goal to generate qualified leads. You saw what makes a qualified leads, and you saw how to generate them. Then you need a sales process that systematically turns qualified leads into paying clients. Close the deal. Now you have a client, contract signed, money on your bank account. Hopefully, if you charge something up front, cool. Next, you need to deliver so that your client is happy, which results in you getting case studies you can use in marketing to build more trust. You get referrals to get more clients. So this becomes like a flywheel. Let's have a look on how these components need to be structured to work properly. So the marketing process needs to have an ad or any other like vehicle to transport your message. It needs to be structured with proper architectured messaging. I showed you how this messaging looks like, because this helps to attract the right people and filter out the wrong people. Next is you need to have a quality manifest or an offer document, the so-called lead magnet that helps people specifically in one phase. By the way, we have all these lead magnets built out. Okay, I will show you at the end of the presentation how we can install this done for you 100% if you want, or we can show you how to do it so you also learn it without investing 240,000 in coaches and training like I had to. Okay, so you give them a quality manifest, a lead magnet, and this is very important. You have a form with a gatekeeper where you qualify people with questions automatically. So this is important for AI targeting because you will only count a lead as a lead if they answer the questions correctly and are a qualified lead, matching the criteria of your ideal client persona, which you defined in the first step, which is the positioning. So next, you build a retargeting audience. Remember the second layer I just showed you 3 slides ago. You retarget people who watched your videos by 50% or more, because that signals a high intent and interest. And you retarget them with case studies and all other content formats that build trust. Now let's look at the sales process, because that's enough to generate qualified leads on autopilot. The first thing is a Goodwill call. Either these leads book a call with you directly because they are hyper motivated and they are like they searched you, Googled you, found your website, saw it's like legit and good business, saw your case studies if you have some, and they trust you. So they book a call. Cool. Most of them will not do this because it needs time until they trust you enough. So you can call them and just ask them, hey, did you get this document that you downloaded? And you like involve them in a conversation based on the action they took. Then you ask them what motivated you to download it, right? So you get a level higher, you understand their intent and the motivation behind it. And this is how you can start the sales process, which also can be done with AI agents. But first it needs to work manually, then you can automate this process, okay, with AI voice agents or AI chat agents. Then you offer a strategy call just to see if the solution could work for them. And then if they are a good fit, if it makes sense for them and for you, and you feel it's a good fit to start working together, you provide a service offer, and this starts the fulfillment. Now, if you do a good job, you sell your retainer, this creates happy clients, and happy clients feed your marketing so that you get more happy clients cheaper. That's it. Most businesses don't have any of these. They just like have random conversations with people who come from referrals. I would recommend, if you want to make a screenshot, do it. That's how you should structure it, okay? That's a systematic sales process that you can also delegate to other people. Because let's say your ads work, you get a lot of leads. Now, if you end up being the only salesperson talking to everyone who books a call, well, like, goodbye, right? You cannot do the fulfillment and the sales closing and everything. You need to prepare systems so that your business runs independently from you, just like a machine. First of all, typically you're selling way too many things. Pick three of the most valuable services, those that contribute to revenue increase or cost reduction. Find them out based on what the market needs. You can find it out using AI. You can find it out listening on social media. You can find it out using the Google Keyword Planner and taking keywords that signal that people are searching for a solution you provide. Now, there is a very smart test, which is called microtests, where you can take these problems that you identified as a hypothesis and you run them with minimal budgets of €2 or dollars per statement, just to find out what resonates most with your audience. Because instead of hoping and guessing which problems they have that you can solve, here you will see with a red, green light color system. If both cells are green, it means this statement is strong enough to catch the attention of the right people, make them interested, and now you can build the whole messaging and your offers based on this tested foundation. That's called microtests, okay? And once you know, you can build or refine your lead magnet and your offer so that you solve these problems that are top of their mind. Okay, that's it. And that's how you position your offers as the solution to the identified problems. Now then, yeah, we've also built such an AI funnel generator that generates all these problems for you, and then you can take the micro-testing results and feed it back to the system so the AI learns what works in the outside world, and that makes it smarter and smarter, and then it suggests offers that you should promote because these offers are perceived as the solution to the problems your clients have. Okay, so that's the funnel structure, but I think it's enough details. Then we have KPI benchmarks for every funnel step, right, for conversions that you can measure, and you will see, based on red, green light color system, which KPI currently is off track. So instead of just doing random tasks and getting busier and busier without getting better results, you know the one thing in your funnel you need to fix to make sure it works again. Okay, and we also have a lead tracking sheet to make sure you only count qualified leads and not like tire kickers and brokies and freebie seekers. And I want to show you the two things. I just give you a very quick overview. If you are interested in implementing this, what you saw, either we do it for you or like we show you how to do it with this AI tool and instructions, and we give you also hands-on support. This is the organic sales system. If your business is less than 10, 15, 20K a month, and you don't want to invest in paid ads to automate, you can still build everything that I showed you just with organic content. So you get step-by-step instructions and personal support to create this organic marketing and sales system, define your target clients based on like the services you provide, the case studies you have, if you have some already, or your past experience working in job, that also makes sense sometimes. Create your lead magnets, right? We have a lot of lead magnets already pre-built. You can just use them. They work, they attract software development clients because they answer these questions in one of these specific phases that I just showed you. Organic LinkedIn and email and a structured sales closing process. You need it no matter if you attract leads organically or with paid ads. You need to have a process to convert leads into paying clients that is ready to delegate. Okay, so that's the organic sales system. And then we have the paid ad sales system That includes everything you saw in the organic sales system, plus the cold campaign to get awareness automatically so that more people know you for the solutions you provide, the retargeting campaign to build trust automatically and replicate the referral process, and then the sales closing support. I will also review your sales calls. I will give you scripts so you know what to say in the Goodwill call, in the discovery call, and in the strategy call. And then we also help you set up a CRM system so that you have a sales pipeline you can properly manage and measure the conversion rates and really understand based on data where your marketing or sales process currently needs attention and eventually some fixes. We also provide a service guarantee. So you pay just a fixed price, no monthly retainer, a fixed price one time, and I work with you as long as required until you achieve a 2x ROI. That means your revenue that is generated from the system is minimum 2 times the money you spend on my service fee plus the money you spend on ads if you invest in ads. I just want to be very transparent. This does not mean that I can guarantee you a 2x ROI because you need to convert these leads into clients. I help you, but I don't close them for you. That would be way too much for all of my clients. Okay, but you get the personal support as long as required to make this work. If you don't give up, I won't give up for sure.